This is not how I picture All Saints Sunday. I like the ritual of naming and lighting candles for those who have died. I prefer gathering together in a room. I'd rather not sit at my table alone. I prefer to gather with you. If the church can learn anything from this pandemic exile, I think it is that worship, spirituality, the faith is not to be defined and confined to that in person, spatial sanctuary worship. We are living what I think what we've professed, that there is more than just the physical reality. We are gathering together around tables of countless shapes and sizes, maybe even no table at all. We're in various places scattered all around. And if you stop to think about it in that way, I think we are actually living, we are experiencing one aspect of God's promised feast. We are seeing, we are being God's table opened up, God's table expanded. In a sense, turning and reshaping, flipping God's table, which does bring us to Jesus' words for today. Our All Saints Day Gospel assigned is from Matthew, and it takes us up the mountain to hear Jesus preach, to teach, to listen to Jesus describing God's way, God's dominion, God's reign, God's rule as it turns the tables. You see, long before Jesus would literally turn over tables in Jerusalem, here he is with his disciples and with crowds of people. And he is saying, well, what we have translated as blessed. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the meek, the peacemakers. Well, his words make room for all at the table. In truth, he's actually doing more than making room. He's rearranging the seating chart. You see the Greek word that we usually translate Jesus saying as blessed, and that makes it sound so churchy and spiritual, otherworldly, something to look forward to in the afterlife. But that's not quite the only or the best translation. Jesus is actually saying that honored is honored. Honored is the poor in spirit. Honored are the meek, the humble. Honored are the peacemakers. Now, honoring is something we sure know about here and now. We know about places of honor reserved for honored guests. Jesus tells us that the poor, the grieving, the unassuming, the oppressed, they are in God's way honored. Not the rich, not the powerful, not the strong, but those considered weak and vulnerable. The ordinary Joes and the Jane Does, are not shunned, not shameful, not merely tolerated, but honored. That is truly one of the gifts for us this day. All Saints isn't about big names and monuments and statues. It is honoring, remembering all those who have been part of our lives, who sit around the tables of our hearts and our minds. Today is about remembering all those parents, friends, teachers, ancestors, comrades, and honoring them. These are not perfect people, but people like you and me. They are actually us. They are the ones who have struggled, who have lost and loved, have grieved, who have fought and sinned, delighted and disappointed, whose days and nights have ended, who now know a peace we do not yet experience, but we hope to believe. And so today's remembrance allows us, encourages us to imagine, visualize the table of God, to touch it just for a moment wherever we are, and see and sit and take our place at God's expansive and ever-expanding table, set and replete for and with the saints, all the saints. Amen.